Hello, it's Hillary, getting real with Hillary. Video 74, I believe. Okay, so today, so I'm on a different angle of my place. You see, over there is the window. Anyway, um, today I did a little experiment, and I have to say it was kind of cool. So, um, after Friday, when I was accused of being inappropriate, and then something happened at work that I realized I just felt like an asshole. So my excitement, and I was so excited. Thursday, I was at the top of the world, and then Friday, I was like, I wasn't. And then, I kind of forgot about it over the weekend. But today, I was just like not excited about work. And I was trying to um, not resist it. And so I kind of like worked through it. So I started, let's see, I talked about like what I did with that. It's called a site seller, and I had so much resistance to it. And I'm trying to even remember what happened. Okay, so I remembered like being in Germany. So this it's almost not related, but there was something that happened when I was a consultant in Germany, and and I think I said this yesterday, but I went to do this presentation, and I knew it. I knew it. I had created the thing. I wasn't let I didn't know it. And when I went to speak, I froze. Okay. So, whenever there's something to learn, it's like I can't. I just, it's, there's like a physical reaction, right? So I was looking at it, like, what is that? And I've always made a joke about that time, like, oh yeah, I just looked at my boss and he started talking. And then, so today I just let myself experience it. So I experienced like it was like embarrassment, like mortification. I can barely remember it now, but so I just allowed myself to be in it today. And it was really like the fear of the fear. So it was the fear that that would happen again. And and it did happen again. Whenever I had to do something at work, I was like just it was embarrassing. So I was kind of like creating, like I was stuck in this incident and I kept making it happen again. So yesterday I went through the thing, and I actually oh my looking for my tissues there. That's what the box is resting on. My nose is already running. So so I was just like kind of being with it. Like so I said, okay, I'm not excited about work, and I'm not gonna pretend. So I was just like I was doing the Michael Singer, like I wasn't resisting it. Well, I don't think that's what he did, but I'm calling it the Michael Singer. So um I just like I was just experiencing this like horribleness. You can't, there's not even words. And then I was like, okay, then that was kind of gone. And then I looked to see, like, my boss had said something, and I felt like an asshole. And I was like, wow, I don't like to feel like the asshole. And when this woman said I was inappropriate, I felt like an asshole. Like, how could you be treating me like an asshole? I'm not an asshole. And then, so I did some work, and I was still in the funk, and I just went and I lied on the couch and I did a meditation. And then I was just lying there, and I was like, okay, be an asshole. Like, just feel it. Like, I just like got into it. Like, oh, I don't like it. And then I remembered some times from my childhood when my sister, it was a whole story that she didn't want me around and all that. And I just, like, whatever incident came up, I just played it through, and I saw, wow, like I made up that I was the asshole, I was the embarrassing asshole. Okay, so I just didn't resist it. I just let these things kind of bubble up in my mind, and it went through it. And um and then I could see, wow, like it's kind of like, okay, when the world doesn't act like I want it to, I'm just not going to play. Like a very young kid. Well, you're not acting how I want, so I'm not going to play with you, right? And then when I was taking my note, writing my notes, I was like, wow, I remember, like, I was a pretty quiet kid, but I remember in, I think it was first grade, like, there was one ball, and they went through the alphabet. And when it was my ball day, so I pretty much stayed by myself. When it was my ball day, I made the rules, and anyone who wasn't going to play my way, they were out. Like, I was a really bossy bitch. And most of the time, I was just this quiet little girl, and I was like, wow, I had a lot of balls, you know? It was like I was legit and don't mess with me. And so I was just laughing to myself. And you know, it's also, I'm just looking at my notes here. When I was little and we had a lot of kids, but there was 5 kids, and so inevitably at dinner someone would get picked on, and when it was my turn, I would just run up to my room. I would just leave. Now I could pick on others, but when they were picking on me, I'm out of here. So I was just laughing to myself because it's kind of like that's my thing. Well, if you're not gonna if you're gonna pick on me, if you're gonna be like how I don't want you to, then I'm out of here, and I would just leave. So it was kind of cool to come up with that and to see, wow, that's a very young response, and I don't actually have to be that young. And like with this site seller, like I could just bring my notes. Like this is not that serious. I can bring my notes if I screw up. Like it's not like I'm going to be in front of a firing squad. Like my life is in danger. That's how it felt. Like, so what I'm saying here is like by not resisting like I wasn't in a good mood today. So I'm using my negativity to create freedom for hopefully others, definitely for me, by not resisting it and just being like, hey, I don't want to do this today. I kind of got through it. I made like this was a record. Now, some were recruiting calls, but still, I got up to, 97. Well, if I count the texts, I count texts. All right. So let's say I'm over at 100. I did 100 today, even though I didn't want to. And that's pretty cool. So I was productive. I had 3 appointments booked. I had one this morning. The second one, she wasn't even there, and she hasn't responded to texts or calls. Just MIA. And the third guy wasn't there, and the guy that was there called the guy we were supposed to meet with, and he said he didn't want to talk to us. Um, so then, when I was backing out of his driveway and I couldn't get out because it was a busy street, he was there, and I said, "Hey, why did you tell us to come if you didn't want to talk to us?" And he goes, "Oh, you have to talk to my wife." So okay, so I call it 1 1/10. We had 1.1 out of 3. And you know what? I That didn't get me down because I know it's just a numbers game. So that was pretty good. So there were some good things. I think by not resisting and just allowing it, it's a pathway to freedom. Or I'm calling it a new term, gateway to healing. You like that? I like that. Gateway. Pretty cool, right? Okay. So anyway, that's what I'm going to call this. Gateway. I think I like gateway to freedom better. We're going to call it gateway to freedom. Not resisting. And I'll tell you what, it's like going through the electronic fence in the untethered soul, just being with it, you get free. And that's pretty cool because I used to stay in these funks for a long time, days, weeks, years. My book, years, 16 years. So I think it's pretty good, just a few hours. So anyway, that's it. CreatingLifeOutHere.com is the blog where you hear the rest of the story. And getting real with, well, I'm not even going to talk about the website because I haven't even looked at it, but you got this and the book, Second Piece of French Toast. Tell your friends. Oh, and if you have any ideas about how to promote it, that would be great because I've never done this before. Bye.